This is Diana from So Very Crafty, and we are here today to make a fabric envelope. Yes, a fabric envelope, and it is just too cute. This particular fabric envelope has a cam snap that allows you to open and close it. It's the perfect size for a gift card or a note, some little candies, whatever it is that you want to put inside there. It is just adorable. I love this little project. It is the perfect beginner sewing project to learn how to use cam snaps, to learn a little top stitching, and to put together a simple sewing pattern. Now, the pattern that comes with this is free. You can enlarge it to make it a bigger envelope if you like, or you can keep it nice and small like this one. But either way, it is a super simple beginner sewing project. So I hope you enjoy this project today, and if you do, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and head over to www.soverycrafty.com for more sewing and crafting tutorials that you don't see here on the YouTube channel. And ding that bell for notifications so that you can get notified of any future So Very Crafty videos. So on that note, let's get started. So what we need is this pattern, and it's free with this tutorial. And you'll notice that there's a top and a bottom to this pattern. So you want to take care when you're putting this piece together that you pay attention to the top and the bottom. You're going to cut an outer piece, a lining piece, and a piece of interfacing. And I have used SF 101 by Pellon for this particular project. You could, if you wanted a stiffer envelope, to use a Pellon 808 or 809 for this, but for today I'm using this SF 101. The other thing you're going to need for this project is some cam snaps. And I have one cam snap which comes in 4 pieces, and I'll show you a little bit later how to go about installing these cam snaps on this project. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to fuse our interfacing, our SF 101, to the wrong side of our outer fabric, which is in this instance going to be my heart fabric. And I'm just going to use a hot iron for that. I have my quilter's cut and press here. That's going to make this job very simple. And I'm just going to run my iron across this very quickly to fuse this interfacing to my outer fabric. It's as easy as that with the SF 101. I actually prefer it to the Pellon 808, even though it's not quite as stiff. It's a little easier to work with. Now we have our SF 101 fused. We are going to start with our lining piece. And I'm going to make sure that my bottom corner that's cut off on this piece is to my bottom right. I am going to take the top corner and I'm just going to fold it down to this first edge of the cut corner, as you can see. And I'm just going to add a couple of pins here. I'm going to run over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch right along this edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'm going to come right back and we're going to move on to our next step. Now I have finished stitching right along this bottom, and now I'm just going to pull this out of my way, and I'm going to bring the other corner down to the corner of this other side of my cut off corner on the bottom, and I'm just going to place a couple of pins here, and then I'm going to run a seam 1/4 inch right along that edge, and then we're going to come back and move on to our next step. Now I've stitched both of these sides, and you can see that if I fold this way, it starts to look like an envelope. Now I'm going to repeat this same process with my outer fabric. Now I'm going to repeat that same process with my outer fabric, but what we want to make sure is that we're doing this right sides together. So I'm going to fold this down to meet my first corner, and I'm going to pin. I'm going to repeat with my second corner, and I'm going to pin, and I'm going to head to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch both sides of these using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now I have two identical envelope shaped fabric pieces. One of these envelope fabric pieces I'm going to turn right sides out, which is going to be my lining piece. And I'm going to place my lining piece inside of my outer piece. And this way they are right sides together. And I'm just going to pin them. Now, if you're a more advanced sewist, you won't have to use pins for this project. It comes together pretty simply and pretty easily. But if you're a beginner sewist, I would recommend that you use pins for this project because it can be a little fidgety, especially down here towards the bottom where you want all of these seams to line up. There we go. We have all of our edges lined up. Now we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we are going to stitch all the way around the top part of our envelope, but we are going to leave a small opening here at the side so that we can turn this right sides out. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and we are just going to stitch around this side, and then we're going to leave a little bit of an opening so that we can turn our project. Here we are at the sewing machine, and we are just going to stitch around our project, making sure to leave an opening for turning right sides out. And remember to take out these pins as you go along. You don't want to ruin your machine. As I said, it's a little fidgety here, so just take your time. So there we go. We have stitched all the way around, and I have left an opening on the side here so that we can turn our project. So let's head back over to the workstation and turn this project right sides out. So here we are back at the workstation, and we have our opening. We are just going to reach in and turn this right sides out. I always do this. The opening's too small and I can't turn it. I couldn't find the end. Now you can see our project taking shape. I'm just going to press this real quick with a hot iron. Now you can see our envelope is nice and pressed, but I want to make sure that this opening, that the edges are pressed inwards just like they were a seam if I had sewn it. That way you won't be able to tell where the opening was. The next thing that I want to do is I want to top stitch all the way around my envelope top so that we can close up this opening and have a nice finished look for our envelope. I'm going to use a little bit of a sewer's trick here because I don't want purple thread on the outside of my envelope. I instead want to have white fabric on the outside of my envelope, so I'm going to put purple in my bobbin and I'm going to put white thread on my top. That way I can make sure that I have a nice, neat, finished project here. So let's head back over to the sewing machine and we're just going to top stitch all the way around, close up this opening, and then we'll add our cam snap. Now I've top stitched all the way around my project here. I'm just going to fold over my envelope top and I'm going to press it so that I know exactly where I want to put my cam snap. Now you can see that we have our envelope just the way we want it. And now it's time to add our cam snap. Now our cam snap comes in 4 pieces. There are 2 pieces that look sort of like a tack. And then there is a male piece and a female piece that go together that cause the snap. We're going to start out using an awl that comes with the kit for this cam snap kit. And I'm just going to place a hole right here in the center using my awl, and this awl is quite sharp. I'm going to place my thumbtack looking piece into the hole all the way through the fabric. Then I'm going to take my male piece, but you could take your female piece, it doesn't really matter, and I'm going to place it right on top. The next thing I'm going to do is I have these pliers. I'm going to place the black part of the pliers on the tack piece and the white part of the pliers onto the male piece, and I'm just going to squeeze them together. And what this does is this crimps the little tack so that these two don't come apart. Now I can see exactly where I need to put the other half of my cam snap. I'm just going to eyeball it here, and I'm going to place another hole right there in the center of my envelope. I'm going to place the tack part on the inside of my envelope. And then I'm going to place the female part right over the top of my thumbtack part, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to crimp these two together just like that. Fold these down and they snap together perfectly, and our little envelope is now complete. How cute is that? Super simple beginner sewing project that anyone with basic sewing skills can make in no time at all. This is great for Christmas gifts, Valentine's gifts, gift cards, little pieces of candy, anything that you'd want to put into a little envelope. This particular envelope is small, but you can enlarge this pattern to make a larger size envelope if you like. The process for completing the envelope is still the same. So if you enlarge the pattern, it's still going to be the same process, and you'll just have a bigger envelope. This one's a bit small, but it's perfect for gift cards and things of that nature. And it's a great little project to learn how to use cam snaps and to learn some top stitching skills and to just complete a nice little envelope looking project. So I hope you enjoyed this project today, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ding that bell for notifications so that you know when there are future Sew Very Crafty videos coming online, and head over to www.sewverycrafty.com so that you can find loads and loads more sewing tutorials that you don't see here on the YouTube channel. That'll walk you step by step on how to do many more beginner and intermediate sewing projects. So I hope again you enjoyed this project. Thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!